Hey guys, how's it going? I'm here with Andy and Ethan. They worked on Spider-Noir. They both worked in sound on it, so thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
I looked it up and all that stuff, so you guys worked closely together, I'm assuming, on all of it. You were the supervisor, right?
We're both supervisors. Yes,
okay,
we're both.
So you were both supervisors, both sound designers.
Mostly sound design. Okay. He was mostly dialogue.
I did mostly dialogue. He did mostly effects and sound design.
Okay, all right, cool. And how did you guys get on that project? And how was it working on something so like that was supposed to be black and white? Like the original thing.
Getting on the project took a little while. We had the post-production producer named Carrie Hobson. She's somebody that I've worked with for years, and Andy and I did a show with her last year. She introduced us to the executive producers. They had us do a little bit of a test sound design for a temp screening that they were doing. Then they brought us in for an interview, and eventually we got the gig.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys went together?
Yeah.
So
we went together.
You guys are a team.
Yeah, we came in together as one brain.
Okay, great.
And to answer that other part of the question with the black and white, we went into the whole process trying to go, well, how do we keep this in that feel of that 1940s
like the noir feel?
Yeah. But also that comic book blockbuster, that we all come to expect in today.
Yeah. So I have a couple questions for each of you.
Sure.
So you worked on a lot of Spider-Man titles, actually.
Yes.
So is that what led you to Spider-Noir, or was it unrelated?
I would say it's probably related because I did also create Spider-Noir's theme for Spider-Verse.
Okay.
So the sounds that you hear there, that's
cool.
something that I'd made. I'd made all the I was tasked with making all the web shooters for this first Spider-Verse.
Okay.
And so each of them had to be different, whereas Spider-Ham had to be like that Hanna-Barbera cartoony kind of effect. And then when Phil Lord had mentioned what he wanted for the noir character, he wanted to be like a lot of winds and feel like we're in the 30s. And how do you accomplish that in the live action side of things? You have to tweak it a little bit, but you have a lot of fun being on the other Spider-Man, like the Tom Holland films, being a part of that.
Yeah, because you worked on Homecoming. Did you work on No Way Home?
Not on No Way Home.
Oh, okay.
I was on Thor 4 for that one. So
yeah, I just wanted to. Oh, you were okay. That makes sense. Okay, cool. And then I saw that you produced and directed, right? Like a while ago.
Back in film school, maybe.
Okay.
Sort of.
What led you to go into sound?
When I was learning how to produce, nobody knew how to do sound. So that was one of those things that film school didn't really teach you very much about.
No, at least not when I went either.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So as a producer, I was like, I need to know how to schedule this. I need to know how to budget this. I need to know what's entailed. So I took the sound design and re-recording mixing classes when I was in film school, and I fell in love with it and was like, this is the thing that I'm going to end up wanting to do. And eventually, when I got out of film school, I went in, got a job at a studio, and started from there.
All right. And then what got you into sound, or did you always want to do sound?
I've always actually wanted to do sound. From even as a little kid, I'd play imaginary games, and it was always the little action figures, and I'd always make the big sounds. So for me, it's like I would watch movies, and really The Fifth Element with Mark Mangini's work. That was the one that was like, wait a minute, like you can do this, and Ben Burt had some great videos that kind of helped lead me down the path of like I can make sounds that can go in a movie and like people
make a career out of it.
Well, that part was like the bonus. That's definitely the bonus, right? I can survive off of this, and it definitely is something that I tell everyone that I is coming up and trying to get into the business. Follow your dreams and your passion and try and just keep trying, but also be ready to let go of some ideas that you may have, because not everything that you're thinking is what the vision is of the project, and so you can adapt to it. So it was really, I'm one of those kind of, a lot of people in this industry come from music, and I very much did not. I have a very musical mind, and I think of a lot of different albums and artists that I love. But for me, it's like, how do I make that cool sound from the Spider Thwip doesn't exist. The lightsaber didn't exist until Ben Burt did it. So we have to create that Thwip, and how do we make it? How, in Noir's case, how can we make it so unique? Well, let's take old school ideas and create it from that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, was working on Spider-Noir just a lot different than the projects you guys have worked on?
Yes and no. I mean,
yeah, what's similar, what's different?
So one of the things that I think that was super unique on this one that doesn't happen, it happens but not often, is there was a real collaboration between the executive producers and the rest of the crew. A lot of TV shows, especially, when I started, I was doing major network shows that were 22 episodes and they go all year. And the executive producers are always working 4 or 5 episodes down the line. So they're not always available to you. They come in, they watch your stuff, they give you notes, and then they leave. In this case, our showrunner, Oren Uziel, and our executive producer, Dan Shear, they were at the mix like all day.
They were hands-on.
Yeah, they were there all the time. And so we got to bounce a lot of ideas. We got to do a lot of experimenting with them in the room. And so it was a real collaborative effort in the room with them in a way that's very unique for TV.
Okay.
Yeah, and for me, it's a little different because of this noir aspect. It's like being on a couple Spider-Man films.
Yeah.
You kind of have an idea, and you're always making the Spider sound a little different, Spider-Man beat a little different. But in this case, we really had to be different, and also creating his character in a cartoon environment, a computer animated movie like Spider-Verse. Well, now we have to ground it a little differently because it's a live action. Nick Cage is on screen, and we have to tell this story that's more organic than kind of how Spider-Verse can tell a story because it's a different genre and unique style of making a film. So it was a different approach for sure, and the big thing that we kept coming back to was, how do we put ourselves in the 1940s as filmmakers and recording? And so we got old recording gear and got old synthesizer theremin kind of ideas and broke them and broke different elements to kind of give it that gritty feel like it's an older film. But then also, let's bring back what we know and make this into a big comic book kind of blockbuster sounding show, as it should be. And the Spider Sense was a great way for us to bring it in and out. So we had a lot of fun doing that.
That's good.
Process.
Yeah, that's good. I'm sure working on the other Spider-Man movies just really helped.
Yeah.
So how did you guys meet and like start working together and stuff?
A long time ago.
Yeah.
We worked together on Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen.
You worked on all the Transformers?
No, Andy worked on most of them. Yeah, I got brought in for the last month as one of the final, like, we got to get over the finish line crew, and Andy was the assistant editor, and then we took 15 years off from each other, something like that, and then I had a connection to get Goosebumps, the television show, and they asked for me to find a feature quality sound designer, and we called Andy, and he joined up, and we've been working together since.
Cool. Were you doing a lot of like assisting until you moved up to like, because I apologize, correct me if I'm wrong. Is Spider-Noir the first time you're a supervisor?
No, it's been about 10 years now, maybe 8 to 10 years. But the assisting process was really helpful, and I tell this to a lot of people coming up also, like, you want to understand the process, assisting is great, because you go to all the ADR sessions, you learn the Foley process, you go out and record sound effects, you're a part of that process that on Transformers with like Eric Adol and Ethan Van Der Ryn, you learn how they kind of create and how they change the sound game with Transformers, and I was a part of that all the way along through the final mix.
The morphing sound is crazy.
It's crazy, and it's amazing, and it was a game changer. And so to be a part of a team like that and a process like that, you take everything that you've seen and learned, and then also as the assistant, you're kind of running the show underneath them to make sure that everything is functioning properly. So it really prepares you for the supervisor role like no other job can do, and then taking
that's awesome, man. Way to
the next level.
Work up and stuff. And I'm glad that I love the team up. It's awesome.
It's very beneficial.
We gotta wrap it up, but last question. Is there anything you guys want to tell the audience, or anything that hasn't been asked of you before that you want to?
I would just say keep following your dreams, no matter where you came from. It's something that it's up to you to kind of put yourself out there and try your hardest, and then take the path that works best for you.
Thank you for listening.
Okay. All right, guys. Andy, Ethan, thank you guys so much for joining us. Spider-Noir is great. Go ahead, go watch it. We'll catch you next time. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it,
Thanks, guys.